Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome back to another discussion. We are going to be continuing the discussion about the new rank system, or the proposed rank system that Riot recently announced. The reason why I think it's important to continue the discussion, even though like some people go, where's the gameplay video? I don't mind sacrificing like income for talking about this. This video won't make as much as gameplay videos. I don't care, because I want the health of the game to be strong. And this, again, we're a few days down the line now. I think I originally released that video on the 25th of, or the 24th/25th, I released that video. It is now the 27th, so I've had a few more days to think about it. I've had a few more days to read replies that Riot have done, and, just, in general, kind of digest it. So we're coming back with more thoughts. So after thinking about it more and being, let's say, less emotive, because that video I was very, hyped up from, really hating the idea of it. A few days later, a little bit more calm. What do I think about it? Still hate it. That hasn't changed. I still don't think this is a very healthy thing to do for the League of Legends community. Based on a few things, again, we may have some overlap in this video than last video, because again, I don't script these. I just speak raw, unedited. This is what I do. But what I'm going to do in today's video is go over some new points that, I've thought about or discovered from reading. But what I might also do is just jump in the comment section of that video and see what you guys are thinking. But what I'm going to do and say right now, in the top right of the video, if you're on a device that enables it, there will be a little pop-out that is a vote. I just want a very clear understanding of my audience of what do you think about it. Do you like it, yes or no? And we're just going to say yes or no. There's not going to be a middle ground here. I want a very clear and decisive, people love it or people hate it. And I know you guys will exist that you're kind of on the fence about it, but just pick a side, I guess, in this instance. Because again, the way that I would always say is, if you're changing something, it better basically be broken or obsolete. That's why you're changing it. And one of the biggest points that I've seen recently in the past few days is the current rank system isn't broke, or it isn't obsolete. It's fine. It works for everybody. It works for people that main a lot of stuff. It works for people that one trick. And most people do agree that you will end up, again, well, most high rating players agree that you will end up to a rating that you deserve eventually. It may take 100 games, 200 games, but you will get there. Riot's proposed change to me actually seems like a low rating perspective. And again, the reason why this may be, and one of the big reasons why they may be doing it, is because the average rating in the game is very low. The average player in League is low rating. So maybe they are adjusting the rank system to low rating people to make them feel better. Potentially, maybe within Riot, people in Riot want to be higher rating and they can't, so maybe this system will help. Because again, just to remind everybody, they are introducing also 2 new tiers to the rank system, which to me, I've been a bit confused about why they're doing both changes at the same time. For me, for ranked health, I would actually do one change after another. So what I would actually propose, and what I would love Riot to do, is just put the role thing on pause for Season 9, but still go ahead with introducing 2 new tiers and 1 less division within each tier. I'd actually be interested to see what happens then, and see what the rank diversify and how does it work, distribution works. That would be more interesting to me. Will Diamond feel healthier, that the differences between Diamond 5 and Diamond 1 aren't crazy if they're putting a new division around Diamond? Will Bronze feel different? The difference between Bronze 5 and Bronze 1 is crazy as well, but they're going to do something there. That's what I would do. I would just hold off the role thing at the moment, because again, the general consensus that I've seen is most people actually kind of like the new changes. There are some people that don't, but even me, I like some of the new changes that they're doing, but there's a lot of people that really dislike the role stuff. And so much so that I've got a lot of mutual people on Twitter, content creators, YouTubers, whatever. I put a tweet out the other day, and usually, again, my inner group of YouTubers are fairly active on Twitter, and we do reply to each other, and if someone asks a question, people answer within our little circle. And I said, hey, is there any content creators out there that like this type of thing? As I would love, this video, I was actually planning to have somebody on the other side who liked the change, who's a YouTuber. No one. I started to DM a few people. No one likes it. No YouTuber that I personally know and I have mutual friends, whatever, with, No one, and that ranges from Red Mercy to Panzer Dragon to Dyrus to Fi to Fox. No one replied saying, "Hey, yeah, I like it." Like, even if they were like, "Oh, I can't do a video, but I do like it. Here's why." No one did it because no one seems to like it, which is a bit odd. Again, if one thing, and again, I do very much credit other YouTubers for what they do. And again, my friend Ross, that I may have mentioned in the first video, he made a video, and apparently a Rioter reached out to him in that video after making it because he made some, I don't want to say accusations, but his opinions are fairly strong about certain topics. Riot reached out to him, but what Ross said was, and what people again don't really realize, is the community of content creators. Although a lot of people don't think very highly of us, we for a long time have been the backbone to League. League used to grow based on word of mouth. So it was because of people like Dunkey and Total Biscuit. That's how a lot of people joined League of Legends back in the day. And then word of mouth grew, and then it became its own kind of snowball effect. They are now, and again, I don't know if I mentioned this in the first video, but they are now doing all ads everywhere. They're doing YouTube ads. They're doing Facebook ads. They are wanting new players to come in. So why are you now kind of ignoring the content creator community? They recently are getting rid of the skin spotlight creator suite, which so many YouTubers rely on. It seems that they basically are abandoning where they started, of content creators helped grow the game. They don't care about us anymore, apparently. And again, from the first video, I was really hoping, and again, I know I'm not a massive YouTuber. I get decent views. I get 1.3 monthly views, 1.3 million monthly views, and if you compare that to like people who have got more content than Riot, it's not that different. So like Ross, who got a Riot response and was in a conversation, a call with a Rioter, he gets about 1.8 million views at the moment. I get 1.3, so it's not that different. And I was really hoping from that video, any Rioter would just reach out and just go, "This is why it's doing it. We understand your concerns," and they just talk to me about it and I could understand it more. Nothing. And I know it's only been 2 days, but again, from Ross's perspective, it was like a day after that he got an email or whatever. So it just seems a bit like, are they just kind of not caring about what the content creators say anymore? And again, that is one of my biggest concerns, not because I feel important, but because it seems very reminiscent of Dynamic Q, is that pretty much universally Dynamic Q was hated by all the content creators, and a lot of you guys, our audiences, they went ahead with it, and a lot of people quit. Again, recently G-Bay, again, I don't watch much League content, but recently I've been watching a lot because I've been wanting to gather opinions about what people are saying about League at the moment. G-Bay made a video about League of Legends basically today and stuff, and he mentioned why people quit. Could be any matter of reasons. It could be that he mentioned that Zoe was overpowered, it gets people in a bad mood, they quit, and they may never come back. And that isn't a very big reason to quit. One champion's just being a bit overpowered, you could just ban it in your games. But making these drastic changes, like Dynamic Q, that definitely made a lot of people quit and they didn't come back. Now you've got this whole role thing that a lot of people are unhappy about. That's going to make people quit. I 100%, and if people don't understand this, and I know, let's not blow it out to proportion, League will survive this. But even if 10 to 20% of their audience absolutely detests this new change, and let's say within that 10-20%, 5% of those people quit, that is catastrophic to League of Legends. Because again, think of the numbers. 5% of a monthly player base of around 100 million players, that's 5 million players gone completely, when the current rank system isn't forcing people to quit. The only people that quit because of the rank system generally are people that are frustrated with their rank, and that isn't because they're secretly being held down. That's because they just don't understand or just aren't very good. I think we can all universally basically agree on that. So the next point that I wanted to go in on, and what some people have actively said, is this is punishing people who don't want a one-trick more than anyone else. And again, I agree. So again, this is from the comment section of people saying this themselves, that, they work full-time, they go home, they play a few games of League, and they want to climb still, but now it's going to take them so much longer to do so, because if they play, let's say, 3 games a day after work, well, those 3 games a day do help to their overall ranking, currently. Well, if they do 3 games a day and they want their mid lane to be their highest rank, but they get one game of mid and then they get autofilled twice to, or not autofilled, they just get given their second role, top playing for 2 games, well, they're gaining less than they would have in the current system, so they're actually going to be climbing a lot slower. That's punishing people like big time who, one, don't have a lot of time to play, and 2, people that don't want to put themselves into one little box, or people like me who want to play 4 roles actively, but it's going to discourage me doing that. And if people don't think it's going to discourage that, it is. It's 100% going to. You may think right now, and again, I'm optimistic that I will still want to play 4 roles. I probably won't. And again, I'm trying to be optimistic, but there would just be no point to. And what being a one trick to me is the worst thing that you could be in League, like of a game balance point of view. And Riot is basically making more one tricks happen. And again, if you're wondering why that point is, all you've got to look at is when a champion gets changed, look at what community is the most like crazy about it. It's the one trick community. And now Riot doing all this is going to force people becoming one tricks more because it benefits it. You're getting a rank for one thing. And then all the changes that they're going to be making are just going to be outraged even more because they're growing that community. It's just a bit silly to me. Next thing, what was the next point? I did have a good comment, if I could find it. People are concerned about boosting is going to be maybe a likely more thing to happen with the system. And I will say, obviously, Riot has come with countermeasures of going, oh, you won't be able to potentially duo queue with people. Like, if you're silver in mid and there's a silver AD carry, but you have diamond top lane, you can't duo queue. Obviously, there will be countermeasures, but there's always going to be a way to do it. Like, in my opinion, like, if you're good at 2 roles, your friend is good at 2 roles, you basically could just queue up with each other on their worst role at the beginning of the season and kind of boost up your weak roles first and then climb with your strong roles after. There's always going to be ways to abuse the system more than there currently is in the current system. And that's what I keep going back to, is that this system, when you compare it to the current system, to me it is not an upgrade. Like, at all. Like, to me, it's more of a downgrade in several. Like, some of them are, like, I'd say level, but a lot of them are downgrades, not upgrades. And again, it goes back to the point, if a big portion of your audience does not want it, don't do it. It's just silly. Like, if I said to you guys right now, oh, hey guys, I'm quitting League, I'm going to go do Dota. If most of you said, hell no, guess what? I'm not doing it. Because that's suicide. That's career suicide. And for this is like game suicide, basically. Again, I still think League will survive, but again, you have to look at the pattern that they're doing Facebook ads and YouTube ads. Why are they doing those? They never did them before. They're worried, I guess. And I don't think this is going to help. Some people are saying, I completely agree, I hate the idea, a rank isn't just about one role, good players should be able to play all roles, not just one, this just encourages one tricks. That's not good. The current rank system is a good measure of what a person's true skill is, not just whether they're a good Udyr or something. And this is a very high voted comment on that video. And again, I agree with everything you said. Let one tricks be a thing. Because guess what? They can exist in the current system. Like, even though a lot of people don't like them, they can exist. They can climb. A lot of people think one tricking is the best way to climb in the current system. So obviously it's okay to do. But don't punish the people that don't want to do that. And again, if you don't think this is a punishment, it is. It just is. It's going to be basically making people demoralized to spread their rank out because it's going to take so much longer to climb in others. And now let's go into a point that was actually on the front page of Reddit the other day, and it basically was, if you don't like the new rank system, this was opinion by somebody, if you don't like the new rank system because you think you're like people are going to troll or whatever when they don't get their main role, you are part of the problem. If you're not going to try when you don't get your main role, you're part of the problem. To me, this was wrong in itself because they don't understand the principle of trying versus not trying. To me, most people who let's say, again, Rioter said, you could have your main role and then your off rolls will still help your main role. If you win on an off roll, you'll get bonus LP for your next game on your main role. That's the way that they've tried to do it, to make it, you care. Thing is, you won't need the bonus LP to climb on your main role. That's just a fact. They're not going to punish you for that. And the second thing, what to me is the point that this person clearly missed. It's not that people won't try when they're not on their main account or main role. It's the fact that they won't care if they lose. That's more important. So I'm sure most of you, and I will, when I'm in an off roll, I will still try to win. I will definitely be trying a decent amount to win the game, because it still does benefit my main rank. But I won't care if the game is going south pretty much at all, because it doesn't affect my main. Basically, what is the equivalent to right now, which I can give you guys a great comparison, is never to, I mean to offend people that play different rank modes, but it's like me basically saying, you're in solo queue right now and you've got your main rank, but it's like basically having your rank 3v3 mode be the one that's actually getting affected. Like, you're playing in Summoner's Rift with 5 people, but if you lose this game, you'll go down in your rank 3v3 rank. Are you gonna care? No, because it's not what you're wanting, and that's not the rank you're trying to rank up. It's your 5v5 rank, or your mid lane rank. You're not gonna care if you lose at all, and where this is important, again, people will still try to win, but I'm sure we've all been in games that you're like half an hour in and there's like one guy that is just not pulling their weight. And you're like, oh, come on, dude. Like, let's do it. We can win. That's the guy who's on his off roll. Doesn't care. And then flip it the other way around. You're on your main roll and you have 3 people in their off rolls. You're now the person that is that's ratings on the line when you're trying to climb and everybody else is in their off roll. It's not going to work that well. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it in the first video. The only way that I could see this ever working, and this can never probably exist, is if they separated the queue of everybody in the game is on their main role and everybody is on their off role. They never can do that because it wouldn't make sense to do, because why would you change the system that much? But yeah, that's the only way that it can work, because mixing people with their main role and off role is just a recipe for disaster. You're gonna have people that don't care as much about losing. Again, people, as I said, people still care about winning, but it's the losing that's the important, that they won't dig deep like like they would if there was their main account main role rank. They're not going to dig that deep. They don't care. It's not a big deal. It's, again, like the equivalent of losing rating in your 3v3 rank instead of your main rank in the current rating system. You won't care. So that, to me, is really bad. And again, like I said, the only way that could potentially work is like, oh, you got your off-roll this game, but everybody in the game is also on their off-roll. Oh, you got your main role this game, everybody has got their main role, because then you all care equally. That to me is the only way around it. And like I said in that video, and recently I've seen that Riot, I think, have confirmed that autofill apparently is still a thing. I think it can't be. You literally cannot give people a rank of something, a solid rank, individual rank of a rating of a role that they have no interest in. Where now it's just meshed with your current rank. It doesn't really matter. Everybody gets autofilled. Everybody's going to have it eventually. But you can't give people like, to me, it just doesn't, like, autofill cannot exist in this new system if they're going to do it. But again, what I hope, and what am I hoping from doing these type of videos, is that the conversation doesn't die, because again, I am actually putting this a lot to like the net neutrality thing that's happening in America right now. The people that are trying to make net neutrality die in America are trying to make the conversation go away. They don't like the conversation because it shows how stupid that whole thing is. This is kind of what I'm hoping that doesn't happen with this, is I don't want the conversation to go away. I want the conversation to be very much here for months, until they even, like, the day before they do it, I still want people talking about it to show that we're not happy. But I don't know. Again, I was streaming earlier today, and a lot of people were like, Huz, do I think they'll still do it? Yeah. Like, as I said, I've said before, it does seem that Riot have learned a lot about their mistakes. Like, they've literally got a meme checklist that you can tick off stuff that the community has wanted for ages. But one thing it seems that they have not changed on at all is how bad their communication is when it comes to game changes. Is that instead of talking to us at the beginning of this whole idea, they're now talking to us when it's already been basically developed from what we can see. The reason why that's really bad, speaking as a game designer, is you, as a game designer and as a company, you'll grow attached to an idea the more you work on it. So if you are working on this new idea for 6 months, you're in love with this. Like, it's going to be very hard for you to change your mind because you're so invested into it. But if they had the conversation with us at the beginning of this cycle of, okay, we're potentially going to do a role rank system, community, what do you think? We hate it. Screw that. Okay, we won't do it. But instead, they've put months into it, and now everybody involved is probably very much like, we're not listening to all the feedback because they want it to happen. They're too attached to it, which again, if you've been around League for a while, Dynamic Queue was the exact same thing. It's identical. Is that they develop it, they say it's going to happen, and then it happens. Like, no feedback, listening, and then it was a disaster. You could literally go back a few years, listen to my videos about Dynamic Queue of what I guessed would happen, and they happened. Like, we're not stupid as a community. We know League very well. And I would argue, and this is a bold thing, a lot of the players probably know League more than a lot of the designers. For a couple reasons. One, designers have a design point of view, not a player point of view. You can get warped in that perspective of they think this is great for design and numbers and metrics, but they don't have the passion of a player of League of Legends. They've got their monthly check of being a Rioter. You've got people that play hundreds and thousands of games every single month. They're the people that gets affected. You at Riot, you're going to still have your job. This is sure, it's a game for you. You probably all play the game. But at the end of the day, it's not going to affect you that badly because you're the one that's making the change. The people that this affects is the powerless people that are just playing the game, that don't have a voice. And this is where I say, these videos, one is to, use my voice, but in the comment section, you use yours too. Riot, I'm hoping, are looking at these videos. I do doubt it, but I hope they do, to see the different perspectives. And that's where the comment section is really useful. So that is my second video on this. And again, there will be more. There may not be more for a few weeks now. Because again, it's relatively brand new news. And I imagine we're going to learn more over the next few weeks. I am hoping that they'll do something. And again, just do something, like get the game designers, and again, my whole idea of talking to YouTubers is a dream that I wish could happen, but do a video that you just have the designers talking about why they're doing it. Release that video, see what you think, because again, the only change that I massively dislike that I think is going to be game-changing stupid is the role ranked. Everything else, I'm like, okay. So again, people have said, oh, Huz is scared of change. No, if you think I'm scared of change, you don't understand the premise of playing since Season 1. I've played this game since Season 1. League of Legends is a different video game now to what it used to be. It's changed a ridiculous amount. I'm okay with change. I'm just not good with bad change, in my opinion. So that's it. I hope you guys are okay with this video. Let me know your comments and new opinions down below. If you didn't in the last video, share them down below. If there was a point that I didn't bring up and you want me to in potentially the next video, leave that down there too. And again, if you are liking this idea, feel free to say why. I did see a couple of people say I like it because I only play one thing. But that is, again, that to me is dangerous mentality of balancing the game towards one tricks. To me, that's the end of League of Legends if that happens. Because, again, the weird thing is that Riot have never balanced the game towards one-tricks. Then they're suddenly making the whole ranked about one-tricking. And again, just to make everybody clear, one-tricking is two things. One-tricking is you could just be on a champion, but one-tricking also is a role. You're a one-trick of a role. That's not healthy. You're putting people into a box. That isn't good. And again, the only way that my mind can work of why they're doing this, because it doesn't make sense otherwise, is money. And the reason why I say that is Riot have all the data, and my opinion, they must have the data backing up that if people only play one role, they're very likely to buy skins for all the champions in that one role, rather than the people that play all roles, they probably don't buy as many skins. That to me is the only way that this makes sense. And it's for a corporate financial reason rather than a game design reason. And like I said last video, if a Riot game designer said, no, that's wrong, here's why, this is why we're doing it, tell me, fair enough, I will change my point of view. But the only way that I see this makes sense is money. That's the only way. But that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Throw a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.